Good afternoon. Welcome to 13 News at 4. So glad you're with us. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. Thanks for joining us. So we begin with the public push to fix Indys Road.
We're going to see a lot of people in Indy pretty soon. We got the Final Four coming up in a few weeks. We got the Indy 500 in May, and locals say they want roads fixed for all those visitors.
Especially on West 21st Street. Ella Rhodes shares with us what residents are saying they're concerned about and the city's response to those concerns. Ella?
Imagine balancing on a tightrope, but the rope is the road you're driving on. It's the obstacle course Kirk Brewster drives on West 21st Street every day for the last 30 years.
It's eroded. The whole road is just a mess. I mean, this is about 0.4 miles between here and Girls School Road. And it's just chopped up. It's horrible, and I don't think I've ever seen it this bad.
Brewster wants a long-term solution, from the 465 overpass to Girls School Road.
Just chewed up. There's potholes like crazy. Traffic, as it's going east to west or west to east, is trying to figure out the easiest way through. Sometimes it's by going into the opposite lane.
He wants it fixed before everyone uses it to go to the 500.
Maybe plan your trip so that you're not going during rush hour, which is impossible on race day.
Ron Greiner agrees. He worries drivers going too fast won't know to slow down.
I think people just have to be prepared to watch out very closely, probably slow down, because you can't just go, then even the speed limit is just too dangerous.
Good news for Greiner and Brewster. Indy DPW says crews will strip patch the road from Theodore Drive to Fullerton.
Think of a road as, like a cake with layers. There are different layers to it. And sometimes, you just need to take away that top layer and lay down a fresh one.
DPW plans to fix it at the end of April, but that all depends on the weather.
To the vehicles, it's a bump fest.
Hopefully in time for race day. In Indianapolis, Ella Rhodes, 13 News.
It was a pretty violent weekend here in Indianapolis. In just 48 hours from midnight Saturday to Monday, nearly a dozen people were shot. 2 of them didn't survive. This map shows where 8 separate shootings happened across the city. One of them happened outside a church on the near north side where family and friends were gathered for a funeral. Another shooting Sunday on the near east side left 2 women hurt and another man dead.
When you have people gathering at a home socially and maybe you induce narcotics or alcohol and you bring that firearm, that's a recipe for disaster when it comes to conflict resolution.
Police say overall non-fatal shootings and criminal homicides are both down from this time last year, but a weekend like this can show how quickly things can turn and how deadly it can be.
All right, thanks to Ashton there. And Governor Braun is reportedly addressing the issue of legalizing medicinal marijuana in Indiana.
Our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker joins us now with the latest. So this is according to State Affairs, right?
Right. According to State Affairs, the governor made the comments at an event last week saying he was agnostic on the issue of legalizing marijuana for medical use, but with 4 states surrounding Indiana where it's illegal, Governor Braun said, quote, "You're probably going to have to address it." Cannabis is illegal in Indiana despite several attempts from lawmakers to get some sort of legislation passed to change that. In neighboring states, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan, cannabis is legal for both recreational and medicinal use. In Kentucky, it's legal for medicinal purposes. A survey from Ball State University found that over 62% of Hoosiers surveyed support legalizing marijuana for both purposes, with even more in support for making it legal for just medicinal uses. Republican State Representative Jim Lucas has been a longtime advocate for legalizing cannabis in Indiana, despite those efforts never making it past a committee hearing.
Well, next year will be a long session, budget year, and we're seeing some budget crunches, not just in Indiana, but going on around the nation. And, part of this that I've never looked at has been the cash flow part of it. But that's something you can't ignore because those numbers are pretty big. I think it's been estimated Indiana could possibly bring in $150 to $200 million on the recreational side. Now, I know the governor mentioned medical side, but it's everything's on the table the way I see it.
In the past, Governor Braun has said any discussion about legalizing marijuana in Indiana would have to involve law enforcement. And the voices who have opposed such a move have expressed concerns about public safety risks like impaired driving, youth access, and broader concerns about societal impact. So you have that side too.
Yeah, and when I talked with then candidate Mike Braun, when he was running for governor, he really said much the same thing, and that was more than 2 years ago. He said, we're surrounded by every state that has some form of legal use of marijuana, but then he said, we're going to be listening to law enforcement, and law enforcement, he said, has always been cautious about it.
Right, and so the question will be, will they take it up at the State House this session?
A big part of the conversation, law enforcement, of course, but obviously we were able to look at some of the surrounding states to see how they have addressed those issues too. So,
and several veterans groups have weighed in on the conversation, saying that they would like to see it legalized for medicinal purposes. Vets who are dealing with PTSD, I've spoken with them frequently, that say it's time at least to legalize it for medicinal uses for their purposes.
More coming up today at 5 and 6. Emily, thank you. Other news this afternoon, the race for the Secretary of State now includes a Libertarian. The party nominated Lori Schillings of Carmel during their convention over the weekend, and it is a crowded field. Take a look. Current Republican Secretary of State Diego Morales and Democrat Bo Bai are among the candidates for their respective parties. They're going to be nominated. Those nominees or those candidates will be nominated at their respective party conventions this summer. Former Indianapolis Mayor Greg Ballard announced he's running as an independent. Others include Democrat Blythe Potter and Republicans David Shelton and Jamie Reitenauer. Demolition is underway right now on some long vacant buildings in the downtown area.
And it is to make way for a new affordable housing project. Jenna Webster joins us now to explain why this project is also about helping improve life expectancy.
Yeah, the area we're talking about right now is on the corner of 22nd and Meridian Streets, and it's part of the Indy Health District. It will eventually become the site of the M22. It's 127 apartments and commercial space. The district is on a mission to improve the quality of life from the north end of downtown to Crown Hill Cemetery. The executive director says one of the top 3 things they hear from residents is the need for more housing, especially affordable housing. One of the buildings being demolished is the old Sandor headquarters. They moved out about 15 years ago, so residents say these buildings have become an eyesore and have some safety issues too. Indy Health District says people living here die 15 to 20 years younger than people living just 8 miles away in the suburbs, and they hope having access to affordable housing is part of the solution to raise life expectancy.
Well, if someone is having a difficult time being able to stay in their home because it's not affordable, that's likely impacting their ability to, have access to healthy food and afford healthy food, or they're having to make tough decisions about how to, where to, and if they can afford things like childcare or transportation.
M22 is being built by a partnership of Near North Development and Crestline Development. Right now, there's no public timeline for construction, but this area has a lot going on too, with kind of the construction just down the street at 22nd and Illinois. They're building 26 new homes, going to be a mix of townhomes and duplexes. So lots of construction, lots of new buildings to look forward to in that area.
A much different landscape.
Yeah, it seems like the medical district that's popping up there is really just expanding over east towards Illinois. And so it just keeps growing and growing, the impact there. Thank you, Jenna.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's check in with Angela. Angela, of course, following the weather whiplash that we've been having. What a beautiful weekend that turned cold very fast.
So I got into my car around 4:30 yesterday afternoon, and I drove across town. When I got into my car, it was hot.
Yes.
When I got to the store, it was cold.
That's how
Within
fast
like
it happened.
5 minutes.
Yes, we were texting back and forth, Lindsay, Rob, and myself, and the temperature drop within a matter of a couple of hours was like 30 degrees.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Crazy.
Yes, I felt it. Go ahead.
Felt it.
But it's going to get warmer.
It is. We are going to warm back up, so the big spring swings are going to continue. We were near 90 yesterday, in the 40s today, so not surprising. The map of the day is the 24-hour temperature change. We're down 43 degrees from this time yesterday in Indianapolis, down 43 in Shelbyville, down 40 in Greencastle. Greencastle, that puts you at 44 right now. We're at 43 in Indianapolis, 48 Bloomington and Seymour, and and 48 degrees in Bedford. Out and about late this afternoon, early this evening, you're going to need that winter coat. Downtown, we have some sunshine, a few high clouds beginning to stream in and beginning to exit. So we'll start to clear things out as we head through the next several hours. You can see over Carmel as well. Finally seeing a few peaks of blue. Temperatures overnight, however, with those clearing skies, are going to drop pretty quickly. We'll stay in the 40s over the next couple of hours. Nothing weather-wise to slow down the afternoon evening drive. But as skies clear, temperatures drop into the 20s and 30s. You'll need the winter coat early tomorrow. Won't necessarily need it tomorrow afternoon. High temperatures will be about 10 to 15 warmer from what we have right now. That will put temperatures in the middle and upper 50s. How we get there? When we start the day near 30, mostly sunny and 43 at noon. Highs tomorrow afternoon in the mid 50s.